Here's the deal, guys. Tomorrow, you're going to be meeting, all of us are meeting, there should be about 1,000 of us there, or more, right here at blogtalkradio.com/Shockofgod now. There should be about 1,000 of us there, about 1,000 of us there, about 1,000 of us there.
YouTube creationist Shockofgod entertains a large audience who showed up for the debate by declaring, complete with sound effects, that evolution must have turned the evolutionist on Exodus 2 into a chicken.
YouTube user Shockofgod sure is a shameless self-promoter. Conservapedia.com is apparently now a news source, and Shock's internet radio show audience of a measly 200 or so listeners is now considered, quote, large. Shock's Blog Talk radio show last Sunday did not exceed 250 listeners at any point during the 2-hour broadcast. If that is a large audience, then how would Shock describe the viewership between 7 to 8 times that size? Because that's the number of people who showed up on Blog TV, where in Nephilimfree's absence, truthful Christian manned up to debate creationism against the League of Reason. Perhaps Shock's little prophecy wasn't all that wrong. Over 1,000 people did show up to an evolution versus creation debate last Sunday. However, he and Nephilimfree refused to join the real party. But enough about the small potatoes. During the bulk of this video, as well as the ensuing series, I will be debunking falsehoods propagated by Nephilimfree himself, in which he claims that his terms for the debate have been consistent, going all the way back to his original challenge video over 6 weeks ago. First, let's take a look at what Nephilimfree claims today were the terms for the debate all along. The next few pictures I'm going to show you are screen captures from Nephilimfree's recent video, multi-part video, dealing with private conversations he had on Skype with Don Exodus 2 in the past. Feel free at any time to pause so that you can read the entire message for yourself. But for this one, I want to highlight his third sentence. Firstly, he had already accepted my original challenge, I think he means my original challenge, in which I stated the debate challenge was to debate creation and evolution on Blog Talk Radio with Shock as the moderator. So to recap, 3 stipulations which Nephilimfree claims have been consistent: that the subject will be creation and evolution, that even going back to the original challenge video, the location was going to be on Blog Talk Radio, and with Shockofgod as the moderator. Keep that in mind. Again, feel free to pause if you want to read the entire screen capture. This one generally is Nephilimfree starting to get paranoid and pissing and moaning about how he doesn't want to have the debate through Skype for whatever paranoid reasons he had. I'll go into those in greater detail in later videos coming out either at the end of this week or over the weekend. But for now, I want you to keep in mind, before we watch the original challenge video, that Nephilimfree is currently against using Skype. Nephilimfree has since deleted most of his videos from the lead up to the debate, including the original challenge video. It would appear on the surface that those wishing to use these videos to contradict his current narrative would be unable to do so. Unfortunately for Nephilimfail, I am a few steps ahead of him. Mirrored here is the first half of his original challenge video. The second half is not mirrored because it was a TED Talk to which he had added none of his own original content and was unrelated to the event in question. As you watch this clip, be sure to take note of the details of the debate as expressed in his original challenge video, and afterwards compare them to what Nephilimfree's current narrative is.
Some time ago I made a video explaining that I was through dealing one-on-one with atheists and evolutionists because it's an utter waste of my time. They refuse to accept anything as any scientific evidence is actually scientific, and they spout fallacies, and you know, they're just absolute denialists, and it's just really a waste of my time. I'm not here for them anyway. But I've thought about it, and I think there is one format that would be fun to deal with these people through. That would be a formal debate. Not video debate. You know, I make a video and they make one in rebuttal, and then I make a video. No, I'm talking about formal debate. You know, a three-way conversation in Skype would be myself, an evolutionist, and a moderator. And we would be allotted X amount of time for questions and assertions. You know, a formal debate. And so I think I'm going to issue a challenge to all the evolutionists, pseudoscientists on YouTube, that if you think you can, you know, do a decent job of standing up against science, you know, and with your evolutionist concepts, you know, maybe you'd like to debate me. I'm open to the idea. But I wouldn't be willing to debate just, you know, any old Joe Blow, you know what I mean? If I'm going to do this, you know, I'm going to squish an evolutionist. I want it to be somebody that other evolutionists and atheists on YouTube like and listen to. Then it'll have impact, you see. So I would be willing to debate one who has at least 1,000 subscribers, at least, no less. Maybe one that has 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers. You know, so if you're one of these prominent preachers of evolution on YouTube, you know, then you know, I challenge you to a formal debate on the subject of evolution and creation. You have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, or it's not worth my time. You know, I would like to maybe debate one of the most popular evolutionists on YouTube. So, I'm going to provide you a link next to this video where you can contact my friend, my YouTube friend, and tell him that you would like to debate. He's going to take message, because I blocked a lot of these people, so they won't be able to message me, see. So if you're one of these evolutionists who has at least 1,000 subscribers, and you think you can stand up against science and me in a formal debate, and you'd like to try, then send him a message telling him, just a simple message. Don't make it long, you know. Don't take up his time. Just say, I would like to debate Nephilimfree. And then he'll pass that information along to me. And I'll make a list, and we'll see, you know, who the evolutionist is that has the most prominent videos about evolution and the most subscribers that's interested in debating me. And that's the one that I will then message and say, did you want to debate me? And we'll set it up. And then I can make a goon out of him, and we can put the audio from the debate on YouTube, and it'll be fun. I like to expose these people, so I'm interested in squashing a bug. So bring it on. At least 1,000 subscribers, nothing less. If you think you've got what it takes to stand up against me with science, go for it. Some of these evolutionists have a lot of subscribers, and they've made a lot of videos spouting all kinds of pseudoscience as if it were scientific or scientific evidence. You know, so let's see if you've got what it takes to put your money where your mouth is. You know, you like doing all this when you make a video, you know, where nobody can respond to your assertions directly in live time. Let's see if you've got what it takes to actually, you know, debate somebody about it. Somebody who's well informed. Can you put your money where your mouth is? Or are you just one of these on YouTube in a video? But then when it comes to actually one-on-one in debate, you just know, oh, I'm scared of Nephilimfree. I ain't going to do that. I better not. He might punk me. Oh, one more thing. The debate will be very courteous and professional. There'll be no name-calling, no insults. Information and assertions and questions. There won't be any, you know, ranting and wild, raising your voice and yelling, or none of this atheist behavior you guys are so addicted to, okay? So if you can hold your cool and do it courteously and professionally, then maybe you can take me on in a debate.
In review, let's give Nephilimfree a consistency test. First, the subject of the debate would be on creationism and evolution.
On the subject of evolution and creation.
The frustration surrounding a reasonable narrowing of the subject matter for the purposes of fitting into the time allotted for the debate will be covered in a later video. For now, we shall cede him the point. Next up is whether or not the location of the debate would be Blog Talk Radio.
I'm talking about formal debate, you know, a three-way conversation in Skype.
Wow, so the debate would originally be through Skype, the very thing Nephilimfree would eventually avoid like the plague. Finally, let's see the last point. Is Shock the moderator?
It would be myself, an evolutionist, and a moderator.
A moderator. No specific person is stipulated, least of all Shockofgod. In fact, Shockofgod and the location being Blog Talk Radio would not be publicly stated until a month later in his video entitled Challenge 3. Now, Neph, I realize you're a dropout of some form, so you might not be familiar with how academic performance is measured, but a 33% is a failing grade on any test.